to get ready for these live streams. I'm always like scrambling around at the last minute to try and get things ready. So I see we've got 20 people here already. The Captain, Julie Miller. A design for life. Let to stay and watch, but I've got to tile the floor. No rest for the wicked. Sammy Smithson. Michael's here. Hi to everybody. Hi Maria. Welcome to another live stream. I am the Starman. I'm not sure if this camera is quite set right. We'll just see if we can just straighten this up a little bit. Is that better? That looks a bit better now. I think the camera's there. I tend to look at the middle of the screen, and when I look at the middle of the screen, I'm not looking right at... Hi Chris. How does this look, by the way, Chris? Doesn't look too bad, really, does it? I mean, I'd like the background to be a little bit darker, but we're not too bad. I've had a little play with the reflector. I've just tried to straighten it up a little bit. Hi Ash. So, yeah, we're back on again for another live stream. In fact, I almost went out before. I wanted to go out because it was raining. Yeah, I know it sounds daft, doesn't it? I wanted to go out because it was raining. Hi, JD Sunderland. I met JD Sunderland the other night on Blackpool Promenade. Yeah, so I met quite a few people when I was out the other night. I was filming the Venus video. You need to turn your head a little into the left to get rid of that green gear. Green gear in your glass. Yeah, I've got a bit of reflection, yeah. It's the tint on my glasses. Yeah, I've got a tint on them. And when I face the light, I get like a... So if I face this way, I'm okay. Hi, Julie. 33 watching. Can we get more than last week? Because I think last week was a little bit disappointing. I only got 45. And the week before that, I had something like 85 or something. I don't really know why that happened, but I'm hoping that we get some more in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have... I've got a quiz. The quiz is going to start at 8:30. As usual, I've got 5 easy questions and 5 hard questions. But I know a lot of you think they're all hard. They are. I've tried to make them as easy as I can. Farang Travels, hi, 1, 2, 3, 4, hi. Peter John. I'll have to take my glasses off because I can't really read the screen. I can't read the screen with my glasses on. There are radio waves coming from the Milky Way. Thoughts, E.T. Yeah, there's radio waves coming from all over the place. Yeah, they're always listening using the radio telescope. The Lovell telescope is a radio telescope. So that's always listening in for, you know, aliens. Not aliens, they're actually using it to image quasars and distant galaxies and things like that. Armitage Dairies. How are you? I love your videos. Thanks for that. Hi, Wendy. Wendy's in tonight. I think you missed me last week, didn't you? Hi, James Tomlinson. Did anyone see my Venus video? Because I went out to film the Venus video. It took a while to do. So I went out to photograph the planet Venus. It was last night, was it? Was it last night? No. No, it was Friday night, wasn't it? I went out on Friday night. The video went out last night. Because at the moment, you can see... In fact, you can see Venus, Saturn, Jupiter. I'm not sure about Mars. Can you see Mars at the moment? I'm not quite sure without looking. I could have a look in the sky at night. Yeah. I'm not sure if I explained everything that, you know, because whenever I'm filming those videos, I always think, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. And sometimes it's really hard to do these videos, you know. Yeah, watch the Venus video. Oh, Wendy says she was here last week. I thought you missed me. Maybe it was another video. Might have been on my other channel. But yeah, Venus can be seen at the moment. We've got 42 watching. Hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. We've got 19 thumbs up. I'm just checking my magazine. This is the Sky at Night magazine. Chris says there's a crackle on the audio. I'm using Frank's Rode lav mic. Can anybody hear a crackle on the audio? Or does the audio sound okay? I think last week the audio wasn't that great because I wasn't using a microphone. and there was a touch of reverb. So one of the things I need to do is to improve the audio in this studio a bit. I'll be getting some soundproofing, and that will help with the reverb. I'm just looking to see now. Can anybody tell me if Mars is visible at the moment? Because to tell you the truth, without looking, I don't know. Just checking now. Can't find. I think Mars is visible, but it's fairly low down. Mars is in conjunction with the Sun on the 8th. No, you can't see it. You can't see Mars because it's where the Sun is. So no, you can't see Mars. Someone says a mild crackle. I wonder why that's doing that. Brian Jones sounds okay here. When is your next walk on the wild side vlog? Probably sometime this week. Mike Jodrell Bank, Lovell telescope. Yeah, it's crackling. That's weird. What about it? I removed this microphone and then put it back in again. So let me know how it sounds. This is with the microphone. I'm going to take it out. It probably won't sound as good now. I am now talking to you without the microphone. I pulled it out here. Look, there it is there. And what I'll do is I'll plug it back in again. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. How's that? There should be a bit less reverb when I'm using the microphone. Hi, Stephen Connor from Lurgan in Northern Ireland. Hi, Shiny. I know you were on the live stream the other day, weren't you? Only on high levels. Hey, Brian. Let's keep it in. Keep it in. Not crackling now, says Julie Clay. Put the mic in. Yes, I have. It should sound a lot better with the microphone. Yeah, last week I wasn't using a microphone and it was a bit weedy. The sound was very weedy. It was very reverby. You know when you get like a very echo, like a very close echo, like you're in a, you know, like when you're in like a hallway or something and there's no furniture or anything and you get that kind of echo that comes straight back here. It's not very good. It's something that I'm going to work on. We'll get rid of this reverb altogether because I'm going to get some soundproofing. So don't forget to hit the like button. We've got 45 watching. Let's get some more people in. Sounds like the gain is set to, I can't control the gain. I don't know if I can control it. I'm using an iPhone, so I'm not sure if I can control the input volume on this iPhone. I can on my other camera. I can on my camera, you know, and on my little thing that I've got still crackles, they said. I hear a hiss too. Can you hear this? I'm just tapping it now. You should be able to hear it. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the microphone, but I use an adapter, and I think it's the adapters well, they're not that great. I'd rather just use a microphone that goes straight into the phone, because Apple, they use this lightning connector, so you have to put the 3mm jack, you know, the jack you get for the 54 watts, and that's good. That's better than last week. I think that's more than last week. Hit the like button if you're just joining in the Starman live stream. We've got 54 watching. Don't forget to hit like. See if it's not too bad. Nothing to worry about. Should be better than last week, I think, because last week was a little bit on the weedy side. So who? Thanks. Is that A1? I can't quite read that. Thanks, Starman. You're the best. Thanks very much. So who saw my video on Venus? Yeah, because you can see Venus at the moment. You can also see Saturn. I didn't mention Saturn and Jupiter, probably because they weren't really very well placed for where I was. They were just behind the hotel. There was a big hotel in a way. But chances are it's a mic clipping at its top end frequency range. I've had similar happen before. Yeah, no, I don't think it is that actually. I think normally this microphone is too low. Whenever I'm using it on a normal, hi Carl, watching on our smart TV. Have you got the Starman surround sound? I'm coming to you in mono. I think I don't. The sound is a bit crackly now and then. Venus looked bright in your video. Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. So I went down to film Venus, and if you watch the video, you'll notice that when I went down that street faces east-west, almost exactly east and west. That street. It's quite unique in Blackpool because there's a lot of streets that come onto the promenade, but a little bit, you know, quite at an angle. But that one is almost east-west, and it was the perfect street to use to show you where the sun sets on the equinox. You know, when the equinox is, the sun always sets right in the west for everybody on earth. When is the next full moon? Isn't it normally around Halloween? No, the full moon's going to be before Halloween. The full moon is just in a few days. Yeah. So it's only going to be a waning moon when we get to Halloween. We did have a full moon last Halloween, near enough. Near, I think it missed it by a couple of days, but it was as good as a full moon last Halloween, from what I remember. So that street, I showed the sun setting from Blackpool at the end of the street on the equinox. And I went down that street last night, and guess what? The sun was setting nowhere near the end of the street. And that's because we've come round, you see. Well, we haven't really. We've come round the sun, but the tilt of the earth is changing as well. So the sun appears to move. It's really us moving, but the sun appears to drift towards the south and west. So it's very noticeable from Blackpool. If you live anywhere else, I think really we notice it a lot more because we're on the coast and we get a clear view of the sun when the sun goes down. If you live on the eastern coast, you probably notice it as well when the sun rises. But I think more people tend to notice the sunset than the sunrise because there's more people up to watch the sunrise. Manchester Square must be close to summer sunset. Not sure what you mean by that. Top work on the Blackpool Henge. Hope I'm sounding all right. Yeah, so I managed to spot Venus pretty well. And you know, the thing is, it's quite low down. I mentioned in the video that Venus is quite low down. If you were to put your hand out like that, you know, if you were to stretch your hand at arm's length, your palm, the palm is about 10 degrees. An outstretched arm, it doesn't matter if you're short or tall like me, if you stretch out your palm and you put it on the horizon, like if I put it on that monitor there, that is 10 degrees, roughly about 10 degrees, 10 degrees of sky. So Venus at the moment is only about, it's less than 10 degrees. It's only about, well, I think it's probably about 10 degrees at the very most by the time you see it, but it's going to go down. So it's going to be very low. You think about it. Venus is only going to be probably 5 degrees above the horizon. By the time you start to see it, it's going to be really low down. Must be really weird living on the East Coast and not seeing the sunset at sea. Well, I would definitely prefer to live here in Blackpool because we get to see the amazing sunsets. And there's always people up to see the sunset. How many people are up to see the sunrise? That's the thing. See, most people in the morning, they're either in bed or they're going to work. So you might get to see the sunrise, but you haven't really got time to enjoy it, you know, unless you're lucky enough to not go to work or you get up early. Sometimes I go out early in Blackpool and we get to see like a really, in fact, if you saw, I did a video on my other channel and the belt of Venus from Blackpool was absolutely amazing. I did it on my other, I should have done a Starman video. When the sun rose the other day, we got to see the most amazing belt of Venus, one of the best belt of Venus I have ever seen, ever. It was really, really good. We had clear, I think we had some rain in the week, and rain must have cleared the air, and that made the belt of Venus really, really good. I streamed a sunset at Blackpool a few weeks ago on my Facebook page, says Brian Jones. Get some good sunrises on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm sure you do. But I would prefer to be on the west because we get to see the sunset. And another thing about the sunset as well is that you have a good idea about whether it's going to be a good sunset. If it's a sunrise, you're not sure. You have to get up and anticipate if it's going to be a good sunrise. But when the sun's going down, you can always anticipate if it's going to break through a bit of cloud, you know. You might be able to see a break on the horizon where the sun's going to drop into and it'll light everything up. So all that can happen at sunset. Farran Travel says the belt of Venus explanation was excellent. Went under the sky in your video on Friday morning was gorgeous. Yeah, if you don't know if you follow my other channel, Walk on the Wild Side, but I did a video on Friday. When was it? Friday morning. Oh, it was absolutely incredible. I could have done it on this channel. I really could. The pink sky. You know when the sun rises? So when the sun rises, well, let's say, Chris showed me this the other day. Let's say that this is the Earth. So when the sun rises, above your horizon, the shadow is cast out this way. So when you're looking opposite towards the sun, you get to see the shadow on the horizon. It's amazing. It's like a bluish kind of grey. A bluish grey. I've got videos of it. Bluish grey. I did a video a few months ago in Blackpool when the sun rose. It's back in July or something like that. If you look back, you'll see it. You get to see a bluish grey band, and above that you get to see a pink strip. It's called the belt of Venus. It's something to do with the Greek goddess Aphrodite. She had a belt, a girdle or whatever, and it was pink. And yeah, so it's something like that. It goes back to the Greek belt of Venus. It's not so easy to see when not on a flat landscape or by the coast. Yeah, that's right, Jeremy. Yeah, it's better if you've got a flat evening, Frank. I'm using your microphone. I hope it sounds okay, because some people have said that it's crackling. So I don't know about you. Friday morning was lovely. Stephen says 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 53 people watching, which is pretty good. We've got 51 likes. If you haven't hit like, hit the thumbs up. So it is absolutely amazing. You know, loads of people must see the belt of Venus. That pink sky you get, and the grey blue. I would say it's more blue. It depends. It really depends on the atmosphere, I think. You know, sometimes it did look really blue the other day. It looked really, really blue. And there's a bit of crackles coming from time to time, says Frank. It's his microphone, by the way. So yeah, so it was one of the best I've ever seen. If I get a chance to do another one, I'll do another video on it when I think it's going to be really clear again, because that was really good. We actually saw cloud on the horizon. We could see cloud, you know, like strip cloud across the horizon, and it was in the shadow of the earth. It was in the darkness, the cloud. They were lit up. They were kind of like silvery clouds, and then you could see as the pink, you know, the belt of Venus got lower as the sun started to come up. As the sun started to come up, the pink sky, the shadow went lower, and now those clouds were in the pink. Absolutely amazing. I think the crackles may be due to the adapter you're using. Yeah, that's the thing, you see. I use an adapter for the lightning, so I wonder if Rode do a lightning connector without having to use an adapter. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Could be a dirty connection or where you placed it. No, I'm not doing anything different. I'm just plugged it in. In fact, I did a live stream on my other channel last night, and there was no problem with the sound at all. So it's true that when the sun sets over the sea, it has already set, and you're seeing some sort of reflection. Yeah, you're right, Farron Travels. That is correct. When the sun set, when you see the sun go down, it's already set. You're actually seeing it. You're kind of seeing a refraction. It's kind of bent. The light is bent. Yeah, you are. So we get to see some absolutely amazing. You got it, mate. Paul's here. Hi, Paul. I've not been up the tower yet, have I? Will I ever get up the tower? I'm supposed to go up Blackpool. You know, I've not been up Blackpool Tower for 40 years. 40 years. Just check, Rode do a lightning connector. That's good. Yeah. I have not been up Blackpool Tower for 40 years. Chaddy says I'm sounding quiet. Yeah, it normally does sound fairly quiet with this microphone. But it is a good microphone. It's a Rode. Yeah, it's a Rode mic. It's not cheap. I might get a proper studio mic, one that really boosts the sound. You know, a proper studio mic. You know, one of those fancy. YouTubers always seem to show off the microphones, don't they? I need to get one of those. You know, one of them that I can have in front of me and show off, like a £500 microphone or something like that. Never knew that about the setting sun reflection. Yeah. Hey, someone took a picture. I saw a picture on Facebook, and they took a photograph looking out towards Blackpool, and you could see a boat floating above the horizon. There was a boat floating, so the horizon was here, the boat was up here. And you know what it was? It was because the horizon, the colour of the horizon, right where the horizon point was almost the same colour as the sky, and it looked like the boat was floating in midair. Yeah, I think it's called a Fata Morgana mirage. We get some amazing sights from Blackpool, you know, you really do. It's absolutely amazing. I took a photograph of a gas rig when it looked like it was floating in the air. So it was the same sort of thing. You have a studio shotgun mic, says Frank. Yes, I do. Light from the sun takes 8 minutes, says Chris, to reach the Earth, so we are seeing the sun in the position it was 8 minutes ago. So it has set before we see it dip below the horizon. Yeah, well, that is correct. But actually, the reason why we see it after it's set is more to do with refraction. Actually, it is more to do with refraction. And we get quite a lot of that off Blackpool as well. We get a lot of nice mirages. Have you ever seen the sun go down and when it hits the horizon, it kind of, the bottom of it kind of turns into like a stand. They call it like an omega. It turns a funny shape. And that there, we see a lot of those from Blackpool. And sometimes you get to see the green flash. And that's something as well. In fact, I filmed, I'm not sure if I caught it. I did a video on it. And if you saw my video a few months ago, I actually filmed the sunset from Blackpool and I saw the green flash and it was amazing. It lasted a few seconds, but I don't know if it showed up on the video. The green flash is when the sun disappears below the horizon. When it just disappears, you get this like mirage effect of like you see a part of it above the horizon for a few seconds before it disappears altogether. And I see it could we arrange a photo session using only a smartphone? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably do that. Yeah. I've got an adapter for a telescope as well. I might use that sometime for a smartphone. We'll see. Yeah. So the sun gives off a green light around the edges. You can actually see it. You can actually see the green before it even sets. But when it sets, it leaves a flash of green in the sky. Sometimes it looks amazing. I've seen a few of the boats floating in the sky. Have seen a few photos of the boats floating in the sky. Yeah, it's all to do with the horizon being the same colour. Or when you get close to the horizon, it blends in with the sky. And you only see the dark part of the water below it and it looks like they're floating. Have you had a play with that adapter? I haven't, Frank, no. I haven't had a chance yet, no. I've got a mobile phone adapter that you can put on the telescope, so I might have a play with that sometime. We'll see. What is your plans for the rest of the month, Starman? I've been imaging Andromeda. It's perfect at the moment. Yes, I would like to have a go at Andromeda. You know, what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm trying to source a telescope, and I cannot find. I have a telescope at the moment. It's the blue one, which you've probably seen in my videos. It's not mine. I need to get it back to the owner. I saw him the other night as well, but he said I can hang on to it for another month. But I need to get myself my own telescope because I've not got a telescope. Apart from that, I've got that, that miniature one. I've got the miniature one, but I can't really use that to do anything serious. So I need to I'm trying to get hold of a telescope and I cannot get hold of one. They're really hard to get hold of at the moment. Smartphone will be interesting, perhaps a Galaxy camera. So yeah, so I'm really hoping to get a telescope and then I can have a go at the Andromeda Galaxy and whatever else is up there. I'd like to have a go at some other galaxies. There's some amazing galaxies up there you can do. And it'll all be kind of sort of, all stuff that you can do fairly well. I'm going to be using a tracker, of course, to do these things, but apart from that, I'm not going to go too deep. I'm going to try and start First Light Optics, Steve. I get my scopes from them. Yeah, FLO, they're big, aren't they? First Light Optics are a big telescope retailer. There's also Altair Astro. There's quite a few. So don't bother with scopes. Second-hand market, too hot. Give it until after. Yeah, I've been looking on it. There's a site called Astro Buy and Sell. If you want to buy something second-hand, like a telescope or camera or anything like that to do with astronomy, there's a site called Astro Buy and Sell UK. Make sure you go on the UK one because there's an American one as well. And yeah, I've been looking on there and there's a lot of stuff on there, but the amount of times I've tried to buy stuff off there and it's ended up being sold or it's been too far away. I found a telescope, I've seen a telescope, oh look at this telescope here, that's just what I want, and then I'll find out that it's in Portsmouth or somewhere like that because nobody wants to post a telescope. You have to go and pick them up. That's the thing about telescopes is not many people want to ship them, you see. I mean, some will, but it won't be cheap. So they prefer, if you're buying a telescope, to go and sort of collect it or even meet. There was one I nearly went for it the other week as well. I almost went. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, well, thanks for the PayPal as well, Marilyn. Thanks very much. I was meaning to tell you about that because, and I couldn't find a comment anywhere, and I thought I've got to thank her for that. So that could be the crackle sound. Small refractor for travel. I have a Dob for home use, says Chaddy. Yeah, well, I've got my little Dob. Never bought from them, but Stargazers Lounge sells stuff. Oh, right, Stargazers Lounge. It's probably the same stuff that's on Astro Buy and Sell. So, yeah, I am still trying to find a telescope. The problem with the blue one I've got is it's a good telescope, but it's just a little bit long for what I want. It's 545mm focal length and it's f6.8. For me, that's just a tiny bit on the slow side, a little bit long. I want to use something a bit shorter, something like 400mm. F6 telescope, that's what I'm looking for. So my phone is an iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is pretty good. It's got some nice cameras on it. 3 cameras. I'm out fishing in Preezor for the night. Too many clouds tonight, says Carpy Chris. Cheers, Stephen. Thanks, says Marilyn. Get a reducer. Yeah, you can, if you get a telescope that has, say, a 400mm focal length and it's, say, f6 or something like that, you can get like a 0.8 times reducer. And that takes the focal length down to, what would that take it down to, 320? F5 or something like that. You know, you can make a telescope less of a focal length, wider and faster, so you can do all that sort of stuff. In fact, I used to have a telescope I used to have an Altair lightweight 72mm telescope. It was a very compact little telescope. It was a doublet, and I really wish I never sold it. I sold it for something bigger, and it was the worst mistake I've ever made. I should have that telescope right now. I tried to buy it off the guy I sold it to and all. I asked him, I said, have you still got that telescope? And he said, I don't know where it is. I think he'd sold it on, so I don't think I'll ever see that telescope again. You could make a Dob. Yes, I could. You can make your own telescopes, you know. The hardest part of making a telescope is getting the mirror, you know. But you might be able to buy a mirror, a mirror that's already made up. Get a mirror for the size of telescope you want. Make sure it fits inside the tube. You need to have a bit of space. So if you get an 8-inch mirror, you want to make your tube a little bit bigger than 8. You know, I know people that do this. You know, people that make their own telescopes. Yeah, there are people that do it. You can buy the mirror. So I was out photographing Venus the other night. I sell telescopes in Cleveland. Let me know what you're in the market for. Ah, Simon John. Is that place? I'm sure I went looking for that place, and I think I went to your place once a long time ago. I can't remember where it was. I'm sure I went to a telescope place in Blackpool. I don't think it was in Cleveland. It was in Blackpool. And I was just looking at telescopes. I didn't have a clue at the time, really. I was just looking. So I ended up getting one second hand. I think I bought one on eBay. I bought a Schmidt-Cassegrain, a Celestron Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, which was a really nice telescope, actually. So we mostly sell on Amazon. So Amazon, yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. Is that telescope? Do you want to let us know the name of your firm, and everyone can have a look if anyone's interested. Few telescopes on Fleabay, says Frank. So I'm hoping that I will get a telescope. I do want a telescope. I don't want to use a camera lens. I have used a camera lens before, but I'd rather use a telescope this time to take my photographs, because I think a telescope will be a bit better quality. So we're almost coming up to 8:30 now, and it's almost the quiz time. Who's ready for the quiz? Car boots occasionally. Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, yeah, car boots. Yeah, I've seen some horror shows at car boots. There was a guy flogging a reflector at a car boot the other week. It was the last car boot I went to before they stopped, and you could tell it had been in the wars, this reflector. The mirror didn't look too bad, it had some marks on it, but I don't know, house clearance, we wanted £60 for it, and they were 115 new. It was a Celestron 114, a Celestron 114 on a, I think it was, what was a mountain, EQ3 or something. It was, I wouldn't have bought it for £60. If someone's looking to buy a telescope, what kind of things should we look for to make sure we don't buy a lemon? Well, if you're buying a second-hand telescope, you want to make sure that the mirror, if it's a reflector, you want to make sure the mirror is in good condition, and that's the first thing. I would Astromaster, yeah, that's right. It was an Astromaster 114. There was no way that I would have paid £60 for it. Put it that way. Skywatcher, William Optics, Altair, yeah, they're all good brands. I don't think that there are any real bad brands. It's like cameras. You can't really buy a bad camera anymore. You go some. I mean, you can. If you go to a supermarket, you do sometimes see these telescopes that are kind of not that good. They have all these fancy, like Jupiter. Can you see Jupiter there? They'll show Jupiter like that on the box, and they'll say 100 times, 200 times, and they're normally about £50 or £60 at Asda or Tesco or whatever. Those are the ones to avoid. Don't buy a telescope from a supermarket. Maybe a red cat will suit you. See that, Paul? Hey, Chris. Red cat. Yeah? Yeah, well, possibly. I mean, I might be able to get hold of a red cat. It might be a little bit too short for what I want, but the red cat telescope is about 250mm focal length, but compared to a 250mm lens, this telescope is primed for taking sharp pictures of stars. It is going to be it is going to blow away a lens, an equivalent lens for quality. It will do. It will absolutely wipe the floor with a camera lens. Camera lenses have all kinds of lenses inside. They have lots of elements. They're good for doing what they do. But compared to a telescope, a good telescope, like a triplet telescope, an Apo, like the Space Cat, the Red Cat, whatever, something like that, they can't compete for that quality. They're not going to compete because they're designed for that pinpoint light, the stars, that sort of thing. They're actually designed for that, and they will blow a lens away. So there you go. The trade price of telescopes is going through the roof due to shortages of aluminium and shipping charges from China. Also, anything that has a chipset on board is also short supply. See, yeah. It looks like the second-hand market is going to be going up. The prices are going to be going up. I bought an Aldi telescope, says Frank. Shudders. Yeah, they're not saying they're all bad, but I mean, the one I've got, the tabletop one that I did the video on, that's a decent telescope, I mean, the eyepieces for it aren't very good. The supplied eyepieces, but I've got my own eyepieces, so it doesn't matter. Right. Okay, it's quiz time now. Have we got any experts in tonight? I've got 5 easy questions and I've got 5 hard questions. I was literally writing these at the last minute. Yeah, it is. It's the same with a lot of stuff, isn't it? There's queues, there's ports blocked, and it was showing in America, Long Beach, well, it's a massive port, Long Beach, and it was showing all these containers that they hadn't emptied all these containers. So it's happening all over the place. Yeah. Yes, it's quiz time. 10 questions, 5 what I call easy ones, and 5 hard ones. So who fancies it? Who fancies it? Are we ready? Just put your answer in. The go-to scopes are hard to get this year. Yeah, There's some nice go-to scopes, you know. There's some really nice, and they're not that expensive either. And they take all the effort out of finding things. If you know, it takes a little bit. You know, some of them are GPS, and they're much easier to set up. The go-to telescopes. Right. Okay. We're ready for the quiz. Right. Here we go. You should get this one. This is easy. What is the belt of Venus? We've already discussed this. What is the belt of Venus? Phones out of your area. Finding a part of the phone. Yeah, it is. Actually, that's it. I mean, if you have a telescope and you're just pressing, oh, I want to find this, I want to find that, and you don't bother looking to where it's going to find it, you're not going to learn, are you? So really, if you want a telescope and you want to learn where things are, get a Dobsonian. I was in Tenerife once, and we were up the mountain looking at stars and stuff, and there was a group there, and they had a telescope, and it was a big Dobsonian, you know, one of these big things that you push around, all manual. And this group, I thought, oh, these look like experts. But they came over to us and they said, we can't find the Andromeda Galaxy. And I got hold of this telescope and I looked through it and I said, I'll find the Andromeda. And I moved it around and I somehow managed to find the Andromeda Galaxy for them. And then I found a comet, because there was a comet in the sky. They said, hey, there's a comet, I'll find you the comet. Yeah, unbelievable, can't believe it. They looked like it. They were actually a group of residents that had sort of gone out to promote astronomy or something. And we ended up on TV. We were on Spanish TV. Yeah, we ended up on their local TV. How about that, eh? Amazing. Yeah, Wendy, that's right. Pink band above Earth's shadow, the shadow of the Earth, yeah. The belt is the light after the sunset, shadow of the Earth, yeah, yeah. So, like, it's one of those things that a lot of people must see and they just don't think anything of it. You know, whenever you see it, you just say, it's just a pink sky. Yeah, it's sunset. The sky goes that colour, doesn't it? The most amazing thing is when you see it, if you've seen my video where I showed the Tenerife, coming back to Tenerife, you know Tenerife has that big pointy mountain, Mount Tide. Well, when the sun went down behind that mountain, we could see the shadow of the mountain on the opposite horizon. How amazing is that? I've done a video on it as well. You can look at the video. When I did the Belt of Venus in Scotland, I show it on there. Starman, the star on Spanish TV, yeah, yeah. So we're not too bad on that one, the Belt of Venus. I'm going to have to put my glasses on now because I can't read. Name the phase of the moon when it's in the same part of the sky as the sun. What is the phase of the moon when it's in the same part of the sky as the sun? Looking pretty good. So there's like 4 main phases. You've got your full moon, you've got your first quarter, and your last quarter, and all of those in between. And most of you are getting this. This is the only time when you can't see the moon. Yes, Wendy? Yeah, well done. It's the only time when you can't see the moon, or if you can, it's very difficult to see it because it's right where the sun is. It's when it's new. It's what they call a new moon. So when a moon, obviously it goes through orbits, and when it's in front of the sun from where we are, from our position, we call it a new moon. So once it stops waning, and then it goes completely dark because you can't see it, and then eventually after a couple of days you'll start to see a very thin crescent, and that will then get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then we'll end up with the full moon again, and it all starts all over again. So there you are, new moon. Yeah, well done to all of it who got that one. I say we're not doing too bad so far. Now then, this one I'm not too sure. This is actually quite a hard one. I had to look this one up myself, just to be exact. I knew roughly, but just to be exact. How wide in diameter? What is the diameter of the moon in miles? We'll go in old money, miles. What is the diameter of the moon in not the radius, the diameter, the whole How wide is it in miles? So roughly, you know. You don't need to get it exactly. My goal is to see Mercury, says Frank in Blackpool. Well, that would be another video. Trying to see if we can spot Mercury, because Venus is fairly easy to spot. I know it's low down, but Venus is bright. It's very bright. Mercury is bright. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. But the problem with Mercury is that it's always in the twilight of the sun, because it never strays far enough away from the sun to be in the dark sky. So Mercury is quite difficult to spot. I don't think it's the size of Iceland, if I remember rightly. Don't know actually. How big's Iceland? It's over there, look. It's about 2 feet. It's about 2 foot. No idea, I'm afraid. 259 miles, says Brian. 1,400. Ash is close with 2,000. Ash came in with 2,000. I would have said about 2,000. Off the top of my head, I would have said 2,000, about 2,000. It's actually 2,163 miles. I think it's about 3,500 kilometers in diameter. The full width, you know, I can't do it. The full width is about 2,160 miles. Yeah, it's about a quarter of the radius of Earth. Yeah, Wendy, that's it. Yeah, close enough. If you said 2,000, that'll do. Mike says 2,300. You're close enough, really. Okay, number 4 of the easy ones. Was that easy then? But I don't think that was that easy, really. Not if I had to look it up. What is the other name for the planet Venus when you see it after sunset? Like I saw it the other night. I saw Venus. There's another name given to Venus when you see it after sunset. What is it? What is the other name? Got 57 people watching. Don't forget to hit like if you're just joining in. What is the other name for the planet Venus when you see it after sunset? 1, 2, 3, 4 says Pluto. Nice try. Chris has got it. Mike's got it. Yeah, it's known as the evening star. Yeah, all the good answers coming in. Even though it's not a star, it is known as the evening star. And the other way around, if it's on the other side of its orbit to the sun, you'll see it in the morning, and then it'll be called the morning star. It does look really spectacular, Venus, but it looks more spectacular when it's low down. You know, and at the moment it's low, and that's when it confuses pilots and, you know, drivers. If you happen to be driving on a road, down a road that's heading straight towards where you see Venus in the sky, it can really mess up your mind. You can think, what's that light over there? Oh, yeah. I didn't know that, says Chaddy. Excellent. Yeah, there you go. Brian Jones says night star, including the one we're stood on. I once observed 8 planets in one session. Wow, Joe 90, that's awesome. I don't think I've seen that many before. Pluto's too far away to see it, and Pluto's not a planet anymore. It got downgraded in 2006. Okay, last of these questions. What's the name of a group of stars? Oh, this is easy. Come on. What's the name of a group of stars? It's been confused for UFOs. Yes, it has. Yeah. Even pilots have been confused by Venus. When they see Venus, you know, in the plane, and you happen to see Venus low down, like it was for me the other night. It was pretty low down, and it's bright, and it doesn't move very much. You know, and you could be moving around, you could be sort of turning around, and it'll still be there, and it won't move. What's the name for a group of stars? You could, I don't know about this question, some people might be confused. I'm talking about groups of stars in the sky that are recognizable, that are, there's 88 of them. There's 88 groups of stars in the sky around the world. 12 of them are belonging to the zodiac. What are they called? What are these groups called? I think I've just sort of elaborated on that question a bit there because it might have been a bit confusing. There are some answers that come in that could be right, but I think I've sort of not really wrote the question down. The Oscars, says Simon. You got you constellation. There's some people, yeah, I think it's a bit of a confusing question, really. What I meant was constellations. So, but I will talk about it now. There's a difference between constellations and asterisms. So, a few people have said asterisms and a few people have said clusters. Well, the constellations are the main groups of stars that are named in a list of 88. There used to be more. I think there were more than 88 at one time, and they've changed through the years. At times, during the antiquity, there were constellations that were depending on where you lived. But now there are 88 constellations that are all fixed, and they all have the boundaries. So if you look on a star map, you'll see boundaries. It's a bit like looking at the United States. When you look at the United States, you can see where all the states are, and they're all jagged, the boundaries. It's like that with the constellations. It's just the same, and they're all agreed upon around the world, 88 constellations. And an asterism is a group of stars, and there are names for asterisms as well, but an asterism it can be a star from one constellation and a star from another constellation that form a line or a triangle, such as a summer triangle. There's 3 stars from, I've just got an alert for amber aurora. Can you believe it? And it's raining outside. I have just got an alert for the aurora amber, an amber alert. Amazing. How about that? There was an alert last week for aurora amber. Yeah. And we couldn't see it because it was too cloudy. Yeah. So, yeah, because there was a CME that hit Earth. So, is Michael gone? Oh, night, Michael. Anyway, we're now to the hard questions. We're fast approaching 9 o'clock now, aren't we? I've got to be finished by 9. Was last week solid clouds? Yeah, I don't think that CME that hit Earth last week was really that spectacular. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary from there were some good displays in Iceland, but then there are always good auroral displays in Iceland. Night, Mike. I didn't really see anything over the top, so I don't think it was lived up to what they hoped it would, because there was a CME thrown off the sun. Sometimes the sun throws off material, and it can throw it off in all directions. It could throw it off away, could throw it off over there. This one was heading towards Earth, and it kind of struck our magnetic field, and that's when we get amazing auroras. So there you go. We're now on to the hard questions. We are now on to the hard. Ready for the hard questions. How hot, roughly, in centigrade? Venus is the hottest planet. How hot is it in centigrade, roughly? Venus. You wouldn't want to live there. Put it that way. It's the hottest planet, Venus. How hot is Venus? Roughly. I had to look this one up, by the way. Farang Travels. Vindaloo, says Jaddy. Joe 90. Wendy, yeah, not bad. It's hotter than a McDonald's apple pie. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, is it hotter than a McDonald's apple pie? I've been burned by those in the past. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure about that. I've got it as 470 degrees, because I was just looking it up before. Yeah, I knew it was roughly about 450 or something like that. About 460, 470 degrees centigrade. So yeah, it's pretty hot on Venus. Yeah, and it's very evenly hot as well, because Venus has got a very thick atmosphere, and that atmosphere, it makes the planet very evenly hot. There's no extremes. If you look at a planet like Mercury, Mercury is closer to the sun, but Mercury has a much more extreme temperature difference from hot to cold. I think it goes from something like 400 degrees centigrade down to minus something stupid like probably absolute zero. So Mercury has an incredible range of temperatures from the hot to the cold on the other side. So you don't want to be on Mercury either, really. So yeah, we're looking at about 464, 470. Did you ever attend those astronomy lectures at Rossall School? No, I've never been to Rossall School. And I know that the guy that teaches there is Nick Lister. He always does Radio Lancashire. Nick Lister. I know they've got a good... I might go sometime and do one. See if I can get some letters behind my name, FRAS or whatever. The Federation of the RAS, Royal Astronomical Society or something like that. I might have my C's mixed up with my F. Yeah, Fahrenheit is a bit different. Fahrenheit is a lot more, is it? It's a lot more in Fahrenheit, 900 Fahrenheit or some stupid. Some people can't. Americans, they cannot do centigrade. Americans, they cannot do centigrade. They can't do metric. They can't do centigrade in America. They just can't get their heads around it. They like the Fahrenheits. This is question number 2. What is the largest, tallest mountain in the solar system? The largest and tallest mountain in the solar system. I was only a little bit out, says Farron Travels. What is the largest mountain, tallest mountain in the solar system? Frank's got it. Joe 90's got it. Yep. Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons on Mars. Olympus Mons, yeah. So Olympus Mons is the biggest, tallest mountain in the solar system. Yeah, it's on Mars, Wendy. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Olympus Mons on the planet Mars, the red planet. There's some amazing pictures of it. The Daily Mail can't do centigrade. Yeah, look it up. Look it up, Olympus Mons. You'll be amazed. It's on Mars. Makes Everest look like a molehill. Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah. So, the largest, tallest planet in the solar system is Olympus Mons on Mars. So, now to question 3, the hard ones. Triton is the largest satellite, natural satellite of which planet? Must be bigger than the Pleasure Beach Big One. Triton is the largest natural satellite of which planet? 75 likes, that's good. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Thumbs up. Let's see if we can get any more likes. Triton is the largest moon, the largest natural satellite of which planet? There's no moons around Venus. There's no moons around Venus. Not Saturn. I think the largest moon around Saturn is it sounds very similar. It's Titan. That's the brightest, largest moon that you can see around Saturn is Titan. But this is Triton. Yes, it's Neptune. It is Neptune, the most distant planet, and Triton is the moon, the main moon of Neptune, and not the robot from Red Dwarf. Yeah, Crichton. That was Crichton. Ash says Saturn. Hope nobody's using Google. Naughty, naughty, says Frank. Yeah, it is Neptune. Now then, we're now on to question 4. What is the ring of icy objects beyond the orbit of Neptune called? There's a ring of icy objects. As you go out from Neptune, there's a big ring of icy bodies. What's the name of that? Crichton. Yeah, Red Dwarf. Love Red Dwarf. I've got it on DVD as well. What's the name of the ring of icy bodies beyond the orbit of Neptune? There's a name for it. Got me there. Richard Gattenby. Yeah. 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 I won't mention the other one. I'll come to that in a minute. It's the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt. So beyond the orbit of Neptune, there's another asteroid belt type thing, but because they're all icy, because they're much further away from the sun, you see, it's called the Kuiper Belt. Yeah, the Kuiper. Now then, some people might have mentioned this already, but there's another ring or circle or sphere beyond the Kuiper Belt. In fact, this is theorized. This is not definite, but there's supposed to be a ring of icy bodies or a sphere beyond the Kuiper Belt outside the solar system. What's the name of that? It's where comets come from. It's where comets are supposed to come from. There is a sphere, a theorized sphere beyond the Kuiper Belt, way beyond the solar system. It's so far away we can't see it. We can only think about it. There's a name for it. What's the name of this sphere of icy bodies where comets are said to come from, that surrounds the solar system? Frank said it already. Frank said it before. It's another Dutch. They sound Dutch, these names. The Kuiper sounds Dutch, doesn't it? It is. Hi, Rick. There's some Google cheating going on. Well, I did have to use Google just to check up on a couple of these questions. I might do one next week where I do it all from my head. You know, where I don't have to think these things up. I don't have to... Yeah, Frank was probably first. He said the Oort cloud. And that's right. There is a theorized cloud, like sort of mythical kind of, you know, kind of ring or circle or sphere around the solar system, around the whole solar system. And it's called the Oort cloud. And it's where all the comets come from. They come from this Oort. They come into our solar system, they whiz around the sun, and then they come right back and end up wherever, you know. So yeah, so that's the Oort cloud. Keep hitting the thumbs up button. We've got 48 people in the room, that's not bad. 48 people watching. So how did we do on the quiz? That's it. That's the last one. The Oort cloud. So there you go. That's the quiz for this week, and we are now coming up on 9 o'clock. I'm going to end this right on time. My voice is going. I did a live stream on my other channel last night. It lasted 2 hours. And I was out on the streets, walking around the streets, and the connection kept dropping. Next stop, heliosphere. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. We've had another good live stream. Everybody seemed to do quite well with the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Never heard of the Oort cloud. Yeah, it's just like a big sphere around the solar system. There's probably the same around other around other planets, other stars have the same thing. And it's just where all these mysterious objects come from, like comets and things like that. So there you go. So that's it for this live stream. We're now coming up on 9 o'clock. thanks for tuning in. And I will be back again next week at the same time. I'll always have a quiz ready, and I'm always trying to improve this sound and the light as well, so as we go along. So there you go. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Hey, it does go pretty quick, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So there you go. Thanks, dude. Love the live stream from Anthony and Fran. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Frank, and also for loan of the microphone. Thanks to Wendy and everybody else. Thanks to Simon John. Check out his telescope place online. And everyone else that's joined in. Like I say, I'll be back again next week. And yeah, the quiz is really just to help us learn. I think they do help you to learn, you know, because they get you to think about stuff that you wouldn't normally think about. So then again, that's it. Barry. Bye, Wendy. Bye, Brian. Bye, JD Sunderland, who I met the other night. Bye, Maria. Bye, Charlie, and anyone else that I haven't mentioned. See you. You never know, I might even be outside for one of these live streams. You never know, do you? Oh, I forgot to mention Captain Kirk going to space. Does anyone see Captain Kirk going to space? I watched that live, that was amazing. It basically went up and came straight back down again. Right, just about got into space and then came back down again. Oh, it was amazing. Anyway, there you go. That's this week's live stream. I will see you again next week, same time, 8 o'clock. See you then.